Within the last 2 years, I've made almost $1 million with organic dropshipping. And I've started this video off saying that not to flex on you, but to show you that I'm a guy that genuinely knows what he's talking about when it comes to the business model that people call organic dropshipping. Because what I'm about to teach you in this video does require a pretty high level of expertise and knowledge. Very few people in this space can even make a video on this subject, let alone you actually learn something from it. So what this video is a full guide on how to go from your first few thousand to your first 6 figures with organic drop shipping. So for those of you out there that have done a few thousand in sales, made your first few sales, made your first 10K, 50K, this is going to be your roadmap for how to get to 6 figures. And I'm not talking just 100K, but multi 6 figures, $500,000 and beyond. So with that being said, if you are a complete beginner when it comes to organic drop shipping, you haven't even made your first sale yet, this video is not for you. But I will leave my full 6+ hour course for beginners down below in the description of this video. I recommend going to watch that. This video is specifically made for my guys that already have a basic understanding of organic and made their first few thousand in sales. And one last time really quick before we get into the actual value of the presentation, I want to give you one more reason that you should listen to me. These are my numbers for November, 72K this month, really almost like 75K if I were to consider the 2 or 3 random stores that have done anywhere from 500 to 1.5K in sales last month. Not only that, but outside of myself, I've also taken handfuls of people to this level as well. Like one of my students, Mateo, who I took from 6K lifetime rev to his first 20K month, and then 2 to 3 months after that, his first 90K month. We also have Bastion here, who became my student when he had literally only made 2 to 3 sales in total that I took to his first 5 figures, and now just this last month, his first 6 figures. We also have Sam here, who I took from never making a single dollar from organic to his first 20K month, and now this month, him doing roughly 90K, which we have a case study dropping for in a week or 2. Same story for Ignos, who started working with me when he had only made a few thousand in sales. I made him his first 20K plus month, and now also just within the last month or 2, he has crossed over 6 figures. Even guys like Victor here, who became a student of mine after already doing over 6 figures, and then I made him another 6 figures. The list goes on and on. I think that's plenty of proof for you to understand I'm a guy you should listen to. So with that being said, get out your pen and paper, notepad, whatever it is, and lock in, because I'm about to give you your entire roadmap to get from 4 and 5 figures to your first 6 figures with organic drop shipping. Now, to give you a rough breakdown of what we're going to go over today, I'm going to go over my own personal systems that I used myself to get to 6 figures and multi 6 figures. Then we're going to go over your best skills to have or learn to be able to do this quickly and make this type of money with organic long term. And then at the end of the lesson, I'm going to be going over virtually what most low earner organic drop shippers look past, what they do wrong, and things you need to understand, just basic principles to be able to get to that 6-figure mark. Now, really quick, I know a lot of you probably already understand this, but I still want to touch on it. It's plain and simple these days, guys. If you want to make long-term income from organic, get those crazy months, even a 6-figure month, you have to be prioritizing Instagram and Facebook. Instagram is where I have made majority of my income from organic drop shipping, a vast probably 80% of it. And Facebook is like the big brother or the cousin of Instagram. It's basically just Instagram on another platform in terms of how good the views are, how long the accounts last, and how much views they produce. You absolutely must be prioritizing these platforms if you want to get to this multi 6-figure mark. TikTok as a whole generates probably 10-ish% of all organic sales in the space now. Now, before we get into my methods and strategies, I want to talk to you about best things for you to learn and skills for you to basically harness to be able to get to this point really quickly and really easily. First thing, which is super slept on, is being an actual good entrepreneur. I don't know why everybody treats organic like a side hustle or like just this silly little thing they do. If you actually work on being a good entrepreneur and treating organic dropshipping like an actual business, you will see very quickly how much more consistent and just predictable it becomes. I'm talking about like understanding numbers and margins, understanding opportunity costs, like when, where, and how to switch from one product to another, when to drop a product, all these different things, basically the mental side of being an entrepreneur, when or who to hire when it comes to customer support as you're scaling, creators even, agencies for email marketing, all these different things. Just in general, you need to start caring about your organic dropshipping business and treating it like an actual full-fledged company you own instead of some little business. This is going to lead to better decision making, more long-term results, more predictability, more confidence, the whole 9 yards. Now, next best skill and thing to learn is originality in your content. Now, don't let this intimidate you. You don't have to 100% rely on only making the most original content ever. And even some products you can still get away with barely being original at all. But just in general, I've noticed over time, this is one of those things that probably ended up helping me the most when it comes to virality, sales, more consistency, just being more original original or trying to be more original with my content. Because the more original your content is, the higher chance you have of going viral. Because the way social media works is its job and its entire design is meant to have as many eyeballs staying on the platform as possible of viewers. Because the more people and viewers they can have on their platform, the more they can charge companies to run paid ads. So in order to keep as many people on their platform as possible, just think about this from a common sense standpoint. They wouldn't want to be feeding these people almost the same video over and over and over again, or even going as far as they wouldn't want people seeing the same sort of video in general. Not to say a lot of that does slip through the cracks, and of course, people end up seeing similar videos, et cetera, but you understand my main point. It would hurt them if everything their viewers saw was something that they saw yesterday or something they saw 3 videos ago. So of course, the more original you are, the more views you're gonna get, which means more sales. And like I said, just understand it. You don't have to be 100% original, just more original than most. If you can take a video that doesn't have anything to do with products or your product, or it's a video on a different product, and you virtually can morph that into your own piece of content, that's originality. If you can take a video from your competitor and change the text hook to a better text hook, use a different sound, but still rely on the same sort of concept, that is increased originality. So as long as you can hang out around 50-ish% of originality, you're gonna be cooking. Now, don't take what I'm sitting here going over as bullshit. We're gonna get to my actual methods and strategies in a second, but it's still super important for you guys to understand and know what you need to work on instead of me just saying do this or do that. Now, one of the final things I'll touch on before we get into my methods and strategies, product knowledge. This is kind of a gimme, but it is so important. It's debatably the most important skill you could have when it comes to actually earning these crazy numbers with organic dropshipping. Just doing basic test ordering and running a product because it's viral will only get you so far. Because when you're only relying on test ordering, or you're kind of definitely still on the beginner side and only running products because they're viral, that leaves you with a handicap. That puts you in a position to where you cannot constantly control your decisions and your outcomes. And that's what a lot of this is. Like, you'll notice throughout this whole presentation and everything I end up saying, almost all of this boils down to how you can put yourself in a position to control every decision and outcome of your organic business. And the reason product knowledge is so important is because a good product outweighs everything, even content skills. You could be the best content creator in the world, but it doesn't matter how many views you're getting if the product doesn't make sales. Where on the other side of that, you could be horrible at content. You could be one of the worst at content, but you could have a product that's so good it carries your content and goes viral just based off the product. And then of course, that product being so good, you make sales. That is all you need to know to understand that product trumps everything. And as I was saying, when it comes to control and advantages and being able to control your outcomes and your decisions, you are at the highest level of control when it comes to products if you're able to identify a winning product just by looking at it. Plus, being able to run completely untapped products from AliExpress/Temu makes your life easier because untapped products are easier to get up and running. And as we were talking about with the originality factor, if you're running a completely untapped product, that automatically makes every single video you create completely original. Plus, on top of that, of course, no comp for the first few weeks you run it. Okay, so this last part is an add-on I actually threw on here really quick right before I started filming after I already made the presentation, but this is still really vital. You should never be in a position to where you don't know what to post next, or you don't have video ideas and you're just sitting there stuck. When it comes to a new product, an old product, whatever you're running, you should literally never be in a position to where you don't know what to post next. If you're still struggling with this, you have to get better at content research as a whole, not even just niche research, but just researching content in general. Like, to give you an example of what I mean, this is kind of the best way I could explain it to you. I could never, even if I wanted to, run out of video ideas because I'm always consciously scrolling, and even outside of consciously scrolling where I'm like constantly putting video ideas in my notes, videos I've seen, viral videos from this product, even some videos that aren't products, all that fun stuff. Even on my IG burner, for example, I could get on my IG burner right now and find 20 plus different accounts that are going viral as we speak that I can then just go and grab content from. It's the easiest thing in the world to morph content to your product. You could literally have drastically different products and still take this concept and this video idea and probably even their text hook and use it for a piece of content for your product. The reason I bring this up is because this is what I see a lot of people in the space struggling with the most. What do I post next? I don't know what next video. How do I start a product? That is ridiculous. You should literally never be in that position, even at like an intermediate level. Now, once again, I talked about being original. Still try and be original. I'm not saying just go and try and find competitors and copy their videos one of one. You can do that. That's part of it. But the point is, you can get inspiration and ideas from literally almost any account on the internet. So if you're still struggling with this, you need to lock in on content research as a whole. Okay, awesome. So we've made it through all the different skills you need to know, the things you need to work on to get to this level. Now, before we get into basic principles that I feel like a lot of low earners look past, and that's a big reason why they stay stuck, we're gonna go over my methods and my strategies that help me get to this multi-six-figure mark. Now, first I wanna talk about creators, but before we do, I want you to understand this is not absolutely necessary. It makes your life easier and it does help things get a little bit more consistent in the long run, but understand I already made multiple six figures before I ever started using creators. There's no right or wrong time to start using them. I just have it here so I can give you my methods and strategies when it comes to creators for if or when you decide to use creators yourself. Now, first thing you need to understand when it comes to how I use creators, this is not the lazy guru method of just trying to onboard 1 trillion creators and then just giving them a handful of products. Not only does this rarely work, but it's almost impossible to pull off unless you have a huge personal brand, which majority of you in this space do not. But even with me having a big personal brand, this is still the strategy that I do and that all of, just the common man, the common organic dropshipper can also pull off, which is really simple. You're gonna find 2 to 3 really solid content creators that are able to take on 2 to 3 products at a time. And you're gonna treat them like partners, not little slave employees. You're virtually gonna focus on quality over quantity. Kind of the way I go about this is every product that I start running, I run it myself. And then the moment its IG is primed with a few viral videos, and by that time, it's also probably made its first few thousand in sales, that's when I hand it off to one of my very few, very select creators. And then from what I've already done with its accounts, with the product itself, the few concepts I have in place, and then especially with my personal Instagram strategy, it's really easy for them to just log into the accounts and then just rinse and repeat what I've done. And then maybe, every week to even 2 weeks, we kind of catch up on everything, maybe revamp a few things over here, dial this in over here. But in general, it's pretty steady coasting. And that's virtually the entire process in a nutshell. The main backbone of this is understanding that you're not treating these people like employees. You're treating them like your business partners. You're giving them good margins, and you're actually using creators that are good enough to replicate the content that you're creating and the content strategy that you start. And this not only, of course, keeps things a lot more organized, but it's just simply a much higher quality way to work with creators and make the most amount of money possible. And what a lot of people get wrong with creators is they do the opposite of this, but you should treat creators just as another tool to scale your organic business, not just a lazy way to try and make easy, fast money. Now, let's get into product stacking. Understand that you can easily make your first 6 figures with just 1 product, but this is mainly for the consistency and long-term sales part of, getting that multi-6-figure mark. And really, it just helps the most with not having or going through those dry periods, where you have your first 50K month, or, you do like 80K in a month, and then the next month you do 5K. This is what that helps with the most. The goal is to get out of just churning and burning 1 to 2 products at a time, like a lot of people do, and get out of that, every few months you're making virtually 0 sales. Basically, a really good way of thinking about it, the way I think about it, is you almost want to think in terms of like building a portfolio, like, a real estate portfolio. Like you're virtually building a portfolio of products. And of course, if all these products are actively making sales, that's even better. And now if you're a real grinder, you can do this at like 3 to 4-ish products, but product stacking is really only like doable at this kind of level that I'm talking about with creators. And you don't even have to be like full scale, like crazy amount of creators, nothing like that. Just having your 2 or 3 main products that you run, and then, maybe products from 6 months ago or products that are slowly kind of drying out, you throw creators on them to consistently bring you in that few K a month while you're taking your active products and, doing that 10, 15, 20K a month with each product. And the reason this works so good with consistency is because 10 products doing 2 to 3K a month is a lot more probable and consistent than 1 product doing 20 to 30K a month. Now, this is just like a dramatized version of what I'm trying to get through to you. I'm not saying you need 10 products. I'm not even at 10 products right now, but you get my point. Now, last thing before we get into those basic principles that I'm talking about low earners not understanding or having a concept of that leaves them stuck, I want to talk to you about long-term products. Now, this is big because I feel like a lot of people have just such, and I feel like, a lot of it is the bad misinformation on YouTube and just learning from bad people, learning from these gurus that just genuinely don't know what they're talking about. But I just see so many people acting as if products die. Like products don't make money after a certain extent, or certain products can only make a certain amount of money. That doesn't make sense. It's never made sense to me. So many people are sitting there like,
oh, you think this product could do 6 figures?
Like, what do you mean? Literally any product you ever touch or run can do 6 figures and make 6 figures, multi 6 figures. Every product you touch and run, you can run for a year plus. And like I said, this is huge because this is gonna help you mentally. This is gonna help with your confidence. This is gonna help you make better decisions. Once you understand that products are not meant to just go and make 20K with, then they die. Like, yeah, sure, there's moments where that happens, but I want you to start treating every single product like it's a product that's gonna go and make you $1 million. And I almost guarantee If you stick with that, instead of just trying to churn and burn through every product you can, you're gonna make more money. $500,000 of my roughly 900,000 lifetime rev, really getting close to that 1 mil mark, came from one product, which if you're new to the channel, I've already leaked that product forever ago. That is Glow Gesture. Doesn't even have 100K followers on its IG, although it's close. And that product has made me roughly $500,000 of my lifetime rev. One product, one IG account. And one last time, I'm begging you to get out of that mindset that every product eventually dies. Some do, things happen, you decide to change products, whatever. But in general, that you can take most products to 6 figures, multi 6 figures. And how you can do this is, instead of being lazy or just giving up, you just constantly reiterate, going back to the drawing board every time things start to slow down, coming up with, new content styles, new concepts, new content strategy as a whole, maybe even making another account, whatever the case may be. But I have this starred for a reason. This is huge. Put this in your mind, drive this in your mind now. Products last so much longer than you think they do. Now, these are basic principles that you need to understand if you want to get out of that sort of mindset and that thought process of these low earner organic drop shippers. And the first one is saturation does not exist, at least in the way you think it does. Now, this can happen to some products, very few, but for majority of products, just because it makes a lot of sales for somebody else does not mean it's not going to make sales for you. The saturation that really matters in organic drop shipping, which I've been preaching forever, if you've heard this from anybody else, they took it from me, is content, which also goes into that originality factor we were talking about. So virtually the more views a product has gotten, the harder it's going to be for you to go viral. But if you're a great content creator, that doesn't matter. Or if you come up with another angle for that same product, not even just another angle, you can still sell the same thing, but new concepts and new styles of content that have never been created for it. If you know a product converts and you have the confidence to make it go viral, then run that product. Because there are so many products out there that are doing 5, 10, 8K per mil that you guys are refusing to run because you think they're too saturated, where you could pick it up and by next month have your highest earning month. I see it all the time. Also, understand that low converting products aren't all bad. And this is coming from a guy that's main sort of philosophy and thing he preaches is all about products and winning products and getting better product knowledge. You just have to zoom out to really understand what I'm about to say. Just think of it this way. A product that converts 600 per mil but is insanely easy to go viral with is just as good as a product that converts 5K per mil but is super hard to go viral with. Like, just put this into perspective. Let's say you have a 600 per mil product. Sure, it doesn't convert that great, but it's super intrinsically viral. It goes viral with ease. You have it on a super cracked out account and it's doing 100 million views a month. You're still making 60K a month with that product. Then compare that to a product that's doing 5K per mil, but it's so hard to go viral for. You can barely get it to go viral. You're trying everything you can. The concepts are super hard. And no matter what you try to do, even after months of fighting tooth and nail, you've only managed to get like 2 or 3 viral videos with 1 to 2 million views each. That same 5K per mil product that you chose to run because it's the better product has now only made you 15 to 20K instead of that dookie product making you 60. Now, that doesn't mean just go and run a bunch of shitty products. Just understand that there is more nuance than just high converting product good, low converting product bad. Now, before we move on to the final part of this presentation, one of the biggest gems on here, and that's understanding that good content only matters to a certain extent. And being good at creating content and knowing how to go viral like the back of your hand is really more about understanding the content that a product or a certain platform demands. And I see people make this mistake all the time. They think, oh, I gotta put out all this great content. I gotta be doing this concept that takes 3 hours, and I gotta do this concept because it looks so good, when really they would have been making more sales and more views with a 10 to 12 second long concept that took them 30 seconds to film. Now, this does not mean go out there and make bad content. All of your content should be good when we're talking about the basics. Text hooks should be good. Sounds you're using should be in your niche or related to your niche, or viral audios in general. Great lighting, good backgrounds. All the basics should still be good no matter what. That's why I said good content only matters to a certain extent. But beyond that, the best organic dropshippers understand this flashy, good content doesn't matter, because it's actually about understanding the style or concept that that product demands and does best with, or that a certain platform, especially like IG, likes the most. There's easily hundreds of videos out there of mine that if you didn't know who I was, you couldn't recognize the tattoos, whatever, you would look at and think, yeah, this guy's pretty dog shit at organic dropship, or at least dog shit at making content. But then you click on the account and realize it's doing, 50 million views a month. And everything I just went over and all these different subjects, things to learn, my own methods and strategies, and understanding things like good content only matters to a certain extent. All these other principles are all things that I teach inside of my one-on-one mentorship program. From the very first day you become a student of mine, we sit down and have a one-on-one game plan call where we talk about your current business, everything you're doing currently, everything you've done in the past, and then we come up with an A to Z game plan of how we're gonna get you from point A to point B the fastest. Then after that, you're having multiple one-on-one calls a week with me and 2 other 6 and 7 figure organic drop shippers for us to execute on that game plan. And then along the way, you're also getting winning products guaranteed handpicked for you by me. And then our playbook is very simple. We take those winning products that I handpicked for you and constantly dial in the content, accounts, and all the other back-end things that go into your organic business day by day through those weekly one-on-one calls that you have with me and your other advanced coaches. Then you have a 24/7 WhatsApp group chat with me and all of your other coaches where we make sure all the little day-to-day things are taken care of, and no matter what, you're constantly only making the right decisions. And then outside of that, of course, I give you all of my personal connections that I use for my own organic business when it comes to you scaling and helping you scale, like customer support reps, email marketing team, the best suppliers in the space, any connection you could possibly ever need. So if you're interested in getting mentored by me one-on-one and getting results like those awesome guys I mentioned at the beginning of this video, and just like all those awesome students that we have case studies of on my YouTube channel, then I'm gonna leave a link down below in the description of this video where you can book a call with me personally. No, not somebody from my team or some random sales guy, me personally, or we'll talk a little bit about your current situation with organic and see if you'd be a good fit to join the program. So like I said, if you're interested in that, the link to book a call with me to join the program is right here under this video in the description. But if that's something you don't care about or you're not interested in, awesome. Just keep enjoying all this free value I give out on YouTube, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Fuck, I just hurt my fucking elbow, dude.
Boom, 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 baby. Yeah, baby. You can do it. Fuck. Fuck me, man. Why can I not say the fucking word expertise? Fucking say it, Ethan. Back up my expertise. Are you fucking kidding me? We also have Bastion here. Fuck. Oh, fuck yeah, baby. That was a crazy intro. Holy shit, that was long.